who we expected to be better the rest of the year, Shohei or Aaron Judge. And I said, that's great. Both of them, neither one of them leads the major leagues and runs batted in, Tony. Tell me who does. And, of course, he couldn't tell me that it was Seiya Suzuki. Nor could he tell me that Pete Crow-Armstrong was probably second in the National League in runs batted in. And right up there with Shohei for me in the discussion of MVP, because he actually does it two ways. And I'm never voting – let me not say never. I'm always going to give a guy the benefit of the doubt who plays in the field every game.
Michael Wilbon joining us, Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. I brought up Sam Presti earlier, and it may sound crazy on the surface, but I don't think it's that crazy. I'm asking you this question for the Bulls. You can have any player you want in the league, any of them. Well, you get one, or you can have Sam Presti. Who are you taking for the Bulls?
Sam Presti. Without hesitation.
I agree. Right.
You're going to take any one player in Major League Baseball in 2013, or you're going to take Theo Epstein?
That was always my point, that the front office is responsible for every player, not just one. And
philosophy and favors culture, owed and all the things that allow an executive to be great. Sam Presti seems to be in control of all of that. And so, mine would be real easy. Mine would be, I wouldn't even hesitate, Sam Presti.
Do you have any thoughts on Tyrese Haliburton's dad being allowed into tonight's game?
I'm okay. I said on the show the other day, he owes Charles Barkley dinner at St. Elmo's, and I want Charles to invite me as well. Because Charles lobbied for that and said, okay, he needed to be suspended, but there needs to be some leniency. And so I might not have been as lenient as Chuck. I might have said the end of this series, he can come back if they make the finals. And he's not courtside either. Like, he's in a suite somewhere, and I'm sure the cameras will find him. But if it was me, I might not have been so lenient, but I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
Michael, what I've always said is if that was a random fan, they would never be allowed back in the arena for their life.
That's true. That's right.
So just because he's the dad to a player, now he's allowed in the exact same postseason?
Listen, you're never going to get me to say I don't believe in double standards, because I do. And everybody believes in them. It's just a matter of where they want to apply them. And so his father, John Haliburton, benefits from a double standard. He does. And I'm okay with that within reason. Not entirely. He doesn't get just blanket, run-of-the-mill, run-of-the-territory. But if he's somewhere where he can't be seen or heard, I'm okay with that.
How much are you enjoying this Cubs season so far, Mike?
Oh, God. So the other night, I've been watching the condensed games, which I told you, guys, I was only going to watch condensed games through April, even through May 15th. And then last week, I go down and I turn on MLB Network, which for out of town, and I think I have Marquee here. Like, I had somebody, I shouldn't say it out loud, maybe I'm not supposed to get it, but out of market. But I tried to turn on the Cubs on my MLB app that I stream, and it said you were not allowed, you have to sign up. You got to pay $149 for out-of-market games. I immediately clicked on it, because now I want to watch the Cubs and whoever they were playing last week. And then this week, I sat there for the entire Reds game, made me angry when they were down 8-3. I'm like, why am I doing this? Memorial Day holiday. I should not let the Cubs control my life. This is not 2015. Don't do it. And then they score the fourth run on a wild pitch, and they get the fifth and sixth runs on the double. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm all in. And then they go, 11-8. So I'm watching it. I love today. I taunted Tony because we had a PTI question about who we expected to be better the rest of the year, Shohei or Aaron Judge. And I said, that's great. Both of them, neither one of them leads the major leagues and runs batted in, Tony. Tell me who does. And, of course, he couldn't tell me that it was Seiya Suzuki. Nor could he tell me that Pete Crow-Armstrong was probably second in the National League and runs batted in. And right up there with Shohei for me in the discussion of MVP, because he actually does it two ways. And I'm never voting. Let me not say never. I'm always going to give a guy the benefit of the doubt who plays in the field every game, which is why Shohei, for me, was kind of a sell last year because he did great things, but Frankie Lindor did it two ways and at the toughest position in baseball. So Pete Crow-Armstrong gets a nod from me for being out there in center field and making it look easy. And Shohei doesn't do that because he's a DH. So right now, that's a discussion. If Shohei goes on to hit 52 home runs, and then maybe not. But right now, it's a discussion.
Wilbon, I said at the beginning of the show that watching PCA reminds me of watching Derek in the 2010-11 season. And Derek,
that's a great analogy.
Yeah, and Derek already had more success. So he was an all-star the previous year, and he was Rookie of the Year. But never before the 2010 season did I ever think that D. Rose would be amongst the best players in the NBA or win the MVP and keep that up. And it's sort of the feeling how I have PCA right now. If you would have ever told me that PCA would be good this year, I would have believed you. If you would have ever told me that he'd be amongst the best players in all of baseball, I never would have believed you.
Well, I want to see how sustainable it is, Silvy, and I want it to be. I want the top of that order to be sustainable. And look, to ask somebody to sustain hitting as has not been 6+ runs a game since 1953. So we're talking 70+ years. That's hard. And I don't know that the top of that order can do that. But to be competitive with the Dodgers, with their top of the order, which is what you're probably going to have to do in a playoff series. Mm-hmm. We're going to get Imanaga back, but we're not going to get Steele back. So you're going to have to do more than pitch. You're going to have to pitch and hit. And it looks like we're developing a closer. God help me for saying it.
Yeah.
But you're still going to need that top part of the order to do what they've done so far through however many games. What have they played now? 50 games?
54, yeah.
All right, so they've played a third of the games. How sustainable is it for Pete Crow-Armstrong? You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Pete Rose.
Oh, my goodness. Waddle, did you get a tingle?
He's got more power than Pete ever had. But
he's got more power. Well, Pete had power like a couple of years. He didn't have it over a sustained period. But he has the energy level.
Yeah.
His
guys
energy
feed off
seems
of it.
to be infectious.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love that about him. Hope he can keep that up. Hope he can stay healthy. And if Tucker's playing that way and Suzuki's playing that way, and if you get Hap back where he was 3-4 years ago, and he can stay healthy and give you some power from both sides of the plate, it's fun to watch, man. It's don't give me these. I don't want scares like 3-1 over Colorado tonight. Yeah. I mean, can we distance ourselves from the Rockies a little bit in these next two games? I'm getting greedy.
Yeah.
But it's really, really, really fun to watch.
All right, we got about a minute or two on this last one. Caleb Williams there was a part in Albert Breer's column today where he said that Ben Johnson is working on Caleb's body language with him, like amongst. So I want to ask you, is that fair or foul?
I don't care about body language. I'm not one of those people. I don't want it to be like Jay Cutler's was often, but I don't care about that. He needs to work on everything with Caleb Williams. If people don't understand that, they're idiots. That's what a great coach does. He works on everything, particularly with his rookie quarterback, everything.
Yeah, it still feels like he's a rookie after what he was put through last year. Yeah.
He hasn't played the first game of his second season yet. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right, enjoy the game tonight, and we will talk next week.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, you guys. Sounds good.